Hey guys, welcome back. How you doing? I'm doing a little impromptu cooking video. I've positioned my camera the best way that I think you'll be able to see it. But anyway, I'm going to be doing some keto cooking. I'm going to do the crack slaw. A few of you asked for the recipe, so there it is. And I didn't really plan it very well, but here it goes anyway. Yeah, that should work. Okay. So ingredients. There's not many ingredients. Some green onions, some ground pork. You can use ground chicken. I like to use ground pork because it does have a higher fat content generally, and you want as much fat as you can get in there for a keto diet. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but it absolutely works. And then I got this Tri-color Coleslaw, avocado oil. I always use avocado oil. It just cooks really well. It has a really high smoke point, and I think it's like 500 degrees, which is best for frying stuff because you don't want, like other oils will release carcinogens as they get to a higher heat level. Anyway, we got some soy sauce. I always use the Kikkoman because to me it tastes the absolute best. Got some sesame oil, gives it awesome flavor. And minced garlic. You can use fresh garlic. I didn't happen to have any, so I'm using minced garlic that I keep in my fridge. And just some pepper. You can flavor it to taste, really, but this is what I do. So I'm going to chop up these onions here. Probably going to use like 3 bunches. And then I'll chop these all up. And then I know one of you had said to do this. You can take these, the ones that you're not using, and even after I chop off these, I'm going to stick this in water. I always keep it in a little mug like this. I don't have direct sunlight in my kitchen, so they don't do too well, but I'm going to just put some water, and they will continue to grow and grow and grow. Thanks for the reminder, whoever suggested that in the last video. But free onions for life if you can maintain them. So I'm just chopping these into little tiny pieces. And I'm going to set these aside on a little plate until I'm ready to cook them. That should be enough, I think, for the amount that I'm making. About 3 bunches. I'm not good at measuring quantities. This is probably a 1/4 cup worth, or 3 bunches. So I'm setting that aside, and then I'm going to work on browning my ground beef. This whole meal is actually super, super quick and easy to make. That's why I wanted to do it today. So let me get this beef started. I'm sorry, not beef. Ground pork. I forgot what I was cooking here. Now this has 1.5 pounds, and that's going to be way too much for me to cook at one time. So I'm just going to do half of it. 1/2 pound. What is that? 3/4 pound? Right. Okay. And the rest I'll just put in the freezer for my next batch of crack slaw. Alright. So just 3/4 pound there. Let me get my pan ready. Okay, so I got a big pan. I don't know what size this is. Probably like 16 inches or so, 14 inches. Make sure whatever pan you use is pretty big and that you have a lid that fits it. Because once you start adding all this coleslaw, you know, it starts out big, so you need a lot of space, but then it shrinks up as you cook it. Oh, here's a spatula. Oh, okay, so I'll show you this. This is a rice spatula. If you're from Hawaii or lived in Hawaii, you might be familiar with rice spatulas, and people in Hawaii use it for everything. I use it for cooking meat. I use it for cooking my eggs. Just about everything, and I have a ton of these rice spatulas because they're so handy. So I have my 3/4 pound of ground pork. I keep saying ground beef. I'm going to let this kind of chop it up as I'm mutilating it here. I'm going to let this brown on medium-high heat. Okay, so while that's starting to brown, I'm going to just tell you a little bit why I started keto, or why I decided to start it again, if you can hear me over the sizzling. In about 2019, I saw something, I don't know, probably on YouTube about keto, and there we go. I decided to start researching it, and I'm kind of a obsessive type person. Like, once I find something, I want to research it. I kind of just go all in on everything that I do. And so I spent hours and hours and hours watching videos on keto so that I knew what I was doing. And it sounded crazy to me to eat fat to lose weight, but when you understand the science of it, it actually makes a whole lot of sense. Your body can feed on two different types of, or can feed from two different types of, two different sources, I guess. It's either going to be carbohydrates, which is most Americans, most worldwide, or it's going to be fat. Protein is a very bad source of energy. It's just not, doesn't work very well, but fat and carbohydrates are very, very good sources of energy. And you can use, instead of carbohydrates, you can use fats as energy. And once you start doing that and you get your body into a state of ketosis where it's using fat instead of carbohydrates, by feeding yourself fat and starving your body of carbohydrates, not completely, but like very, very low carbohydrates, it'll trick your body into, that light is tricking me, it'll trick your body into burning its own body fat. So if you have excess fat on your body, you'll actually burn that. And the last time I did it, lost 15 pounds in like 2 or 3 weeks, something crazy. And I had so much energy. I felt so good. I felt light. I didn't feel bloated. I felt awesome energy, awesome mental clarity, which is another reason why I'm doing this for like a prepper standpoint. Is I want to feel nimble. I want to feel light on my feet. I want to have that mental clarity, and I want to be in shape so that I can handle anything that comes my way. I should probably check on my meat now. I'm rambling. I really do get obsessed with what I do, just about everything I do. And keto, when I started doing it, I got very obsessed with it because it was amazing. I'll be right back. My meat is fine. You guys were probably listening to me ramble thinking, oh my gosh, her meat is going to burn. She's ruining it. I almost did let it get ruined because I was so busy talking. It's almost cooked all the way through. There's still a little bit of pink. I'm going to add my garlic. This is not quite a tablespoon. You do as much as you want. It's probably, that's probably like 3 cloves worth of garlic. And I like garlic, so maybe I'll do a little bit more. Fresh garlic has more flavor than this stuff, so put the garlic in there. You want to cook some of this flavor into your meat. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. And then I'm going to start adding soy sauce. I'm going to use the salt from the soy sauce to kind of flavor the meat. And I put quite a bit in there. That's probably a couple tablespoons. I'm really guessing here. Just kind of go by what you think would be good. There's no actual recipe. I'll try to write a recipe down in the description. There's no like one way of doing it. So you just put the ingredients in there and it turns out good every time. So I'll let my meat sit with the soy sauce and the garlic for a little bit. And then sesame oil is very potent. So this stuff you don't want to use a whole lot of. I probably should have a spoon or something to probably be wise, but I am not wise when it comes to cooking. So do like 1/4 of a teaspoon. And that is very, very strong. If you overload it with sesame oil or sesame seed oil, you're going to probably regret it because it tastes good in small proportions. So let that sit a little bit. And then next thing is going to be my green onions. Put them all in there. It's already smelling really good. I don't want the green onions to cook too much before I start adding my coleslaw. And since I only used 3/4 of a pound of the ground pork, I'm probably not going to use this entire bag. It's a 16-ounce bag. What am I doing here? There's the camera. 16-ounce bag. I'll probably use 12 ounces of it. And save some for something else that I'm going to make. You can add more after it starts to, get softer if you think you need more. But I basically just put it right on top, and then I come in with some more avocado oil. Actually, I didn't use any avocado oil, so this is the first time. It seems like a lot of oil. And I didn't drain my meat, but you want those fats. That's the idea of keto. So avocado oil, there's going to be about 2 tablespoons. Maybe 2.5, 3. I don't know. But you don't want to cut your carbs and then not replace the carbs with fat, because then your body's basically going to go into starvation mode. You're going to be very low energy. And you're going to want to get off this lifestyle very quickly. That's why you need the fats, because it will give you energy, and it's a very good clean energy. Versus carbs, where you're kind of like going up and down. You get those highs, and then you crash, and then you need some more sugar or bread, then you crash. The fat as an energy is pretty stable. I mean, you stay energized throughout the day. Okay. And that's why I like it. I felt good. I'm adding more soy sauce because it doesn't look dark enough for me. So maybe another couple tablespoons. And there is a lot of salt in soy sauce, but, oops, I moved you. Okay, let me go over the salt thing after I put a bunch of pepper in here. If you guys know me, you know I like pepper a lot. Oh, I forgot one of the ingredients. I knew I was missing something. Okay, if you don't like spicy stuff, let me get rid of this. If you don't like spicy stuff, don't add this. But, personally, I've got to have Sriracha. So, super spicy. I don't know why I forgot about this in the beginning, guys. It's been a while since I've made it, obviously. And I'm just going to kind of go over it like that. I like spicy, so that's good for me. If you don't like spicy, do like half of what I just did. Just kind of mix everything together. My coleslaw, my cabbage mix, I guess you would call it, is starting to get softer now. I'm going to turn the heat down and just let that sit. Kind of steam your cabbage. I'm making a big mess here, but guys, that's how I cook. Okay, so the salt thing. Carbohydrates hold most of the water that you take. So most of the water that you drink, the reason it stays in your body and keeps you hydrated is because the carbs are actually holding it in your body. So when you take the carbs out of your diet, your body's not retaining as much fluid. So one, you're going to lose a little bit of weight that way. But you'll also find yourself going to the bathroom more often because the water flushes through your system faster. It's not being held by the carbs in your system, which also means that you have to hydrate a lot more than you normally would. When I did keto the last time, I was drinking close to a gallon of water a day, like 64 ounces, a lot of water, possibly more than that, because you're losing it faster, so you need to replenish it. And also because you're losing it faster, you're losing salts in your body, you're losing electrolytes. So every time you go number one, I'm sorry I'm talking about this while I'm cooking, but that's what it is. You go number one and you lose salts, you lose electrolytes, so you need to replenish those electrolytes. And adding salt, as bad as doctors say it is for you, if you're doing a low carb diet, you need to add salt. So salt, soy sauce. I even bought some liquid electrolytes. It's called 10,000 volts, and it's just like a little bottle. You drop a couple drops into your water when you drink it, and it replenishes potassium, sodium, and the other one. Oh, there's like 3 or 4 salts that I can't remember right now. But yeah, you want to replenish your liquids often and your salts. Otherwise, you're going to get kidney stones. So be very careful about that. Anything else I can think of? I didn't really plan on what I was going to talk about, so I think that's it for now. Let me check on my crack slaw. Okay, guys, that's what it looks like right now. It does have quite a bit of liquid in it because I probably went a little overboard on the soy sauce. But hey, it is correctable. I'm sorry I keep moving the camera around. I can't get used to this new tripod. I can correct that with more coleslaw. So I am actually going to use the whole bag. I'm just going to use the whole bag. And then hopefully when I mix that in, it'll steam. I'll probably have some that is cooked better than the rest of it, but that is not a problem at all. I'll have some crunch. So kind of mix that in. And I'll probably have to add some more seasonings to it, but I'm going to let that steam a little bit and then taste test it and see what I need to add. But it is smelling good right now. Actually, you know what? I'm going to add a little more sesame seed oil. Just a tiny more. I probably would have like the worst cooking channel on earth because 1, I don't know how to use like measurements, and 2, I'm really bad at describing what I'm doing here. But hopefully just watching this you get a general idea. Okay, it's like that. And I'm sloppy. But you know what? I'm the only one in my kitchen. I'm going to clean it up, so I'll do what I want. So I'm going to let that steam for a little bit. It's kind of medium heat right now. And I can't wait to eat it. Another thing about the keto diet. Okay, so you know when you fast, if you've ever fasted before, you go quite some time without eating at all, maybe just water, you get to a state, like a heightened state almost. Your mind is clear. What you're actually doing is you're putting yourself in ketosis. That's what fasting is. You're putting yourself in ketosis. And it does provide a lot of mental clarity. And I think that's why people do that when they fast and they pray, because it just puts you in a different state. And honestly, I would say there's some kind of like a high with being in ketosis. And when you're in it and your body is actively burning fat as your fuel source, you will know it because you will feel it. And you're like, ooh, you just feel good. So I would suggest you trying it if you want to. But the one thing is with keto is it's like an all or nothing. You can't do keto one day, not do it the next day, do it one day. You have to get your body in a state of using and knowing that that's what it's going to, using fat for its fuel. So if you do it one day, you have like a very high fat day, low carb, and then the next day you go eat like a cheeseburger and fries, your body is going to hold on to all the fats, but it's going to store it. So you're going to put on more weight. So you just have to do it or not do it. It's an all or nothing kind of thing. And I'm an all or nothing kind of person. So it works out for me. Anyway, I think my food's about ready. I'm going to put it in a bowl and test it out. Okay, I really like the way this is looking right now because some of the cabbage is soft and some still looks like it would be crunchy. So I turn the heat off, and that's gonna be it. It looks really pretty from here. I don't know if you can see it, but I can smell the sesame oil. Very delicious taste or smell. I'm gonna taste it now. Gonna add more pepper and more sriracha because it's not quite as spicy as I'd like it, but it is amazing. I don't know what's so good about it. Maybe it's just me, but this stuff is like crack. And I'll make myself a bowl of it and then come back for like seconds and thirds. I gotta watch my portions when I'm doing this, but it's so delicious. So try that at home. Even if you're not doing keto, you know, maybe take some of the oil out of it. I did the avocado oil because I needed to add that fat content. And the pork and the cabbage by itself wouldn't have enough fat. But maybe just try this to, you know, take some of the carbs out of your diet. You don't need to have rice, although rice would probably be good with an Asian dish like this. But yeah, guys, hopefully that was somewhat enjoyable for you. I'm sorry I was kind of all over the place, but that's the way it is. You guys have a good day, and I will be back with some more keto cooking videos. If you care to see them, just comment down below if you want to.